Hello, everyone. My name is Evan Jacobs. Welcome to another edition of the Boxing Time TV of Boxing Time TV. We have an interesting bout today in the sense that it's not made, but it could be made, and I'm basically making it because I love the Sports Illustrated podcast that Chris Mannix does, and he's always talking about the fight, Jermall Charlo, Demetrius Andrade. So I just figured I'd make it, just put it out there. Maybe it'll get made, maybe it won't get made. But at least, we could have the fight happen somewhere using this old 80s video game as a simulation and have it be a part of Boxing Time TV. Um, Charlo's 30 years old. Demetrius Andrade is 32. The odds are even on the fight. They're both about 6 feet tall. They weigh 160. Both have about the same reach, 74 reach, 31 fights, 0 losses for Charlo, 29 fights, 0 losses for Andrade. But I think Charlo hits a bit harder. So we'll talk about that more. It's scheduled for 12 rounds, 3-minute rounds, 10-point must scoring system, no mandatory 8 count, 3 knockdown rule waived. Let's go. All right, so they're coming out now, and I just have a feeling, Andrade comes out, kind of launches the left hand. We'll see if he's able to really, what he's able to do with that. Oh, lands a hard right hand. That's certainly going to get Jermall Charlo's attention. And this is one of those fights that maybe it could be made, it's just that Andrade is with Matchroom or DAZN, I believe, and Jermall Charlo is with the PBC. So it's hard to get it made, but apparently DAZN, Eddie Hearn with Matchroom has been trying to get it made. Offered Charlo $7 million. Charlo didn't take it. So we'll see. One thing that we do know is that both these guys are really, really good fighters, and it seems like a lot of people are not wanting to fight Andrade because there's probably not a lot of upside to that, just in the sense of him being known versus some other fighters. If you have a chance to potentially fight Canelo Alvarez, why would you take the risk with Andrade? But Jermall Charlo is that good that personally I think he could probably beat both. But that's just my opinion. I also think that Andrade, if the night's right, I think he could probably beat both. So, it's interesting. I get a lot of Austin Trout and Winky Wright from Demetrius Andrade, and I'm not sure why I do. And we're going to actually be doing Andrade's next bout versus Dusty Harrison. So right now, so far, Andrade doing well, fighting from a distance. Charlo kind of going to the body. Maybe, I think Andrade landing a little bit more in this early going, but we'll have to see as the fight progresses. Oh, and Charlo still going to the body, landing really well with that left hand. All right, and Andrade still doing well. I'm telling you, it's early going in this, but I like what I'm seeing from Andrade, and I like sort of the long game that I think Charlo is playing. He's going to the body, maybe hoping that later in the fight he can kind of draw Demetrius Andrade out more, and at that point he will have taken his body away, taken away his legs, and I'll have him right where he wants him. All right, so the round is even on 2 of the judges' scorecards. One judge gives it to Charlo by a slim margin. So hey, I'm good with that. This is one of those things. I think we're going to see a really, really even fight, and I think it's the kind of thing that at some point, I think some guy's going to pull. One of them will pull ahead. It just depends on which guy. Ultimately, I think that Jermall Charlo, his his how do I put this? Um, how do I put this? He is he hits harder, And I think that that could end up being the difference, because I think these guys are so similar in a lot of different ways. But who knows? Demetrius Andrade may be fundamentally the better boxer ultimately. So, we'll have to see. But these guys are landing hard, and I like the right hand that Andrade's landing. I like the body work and the up top work that Jermall Charlo is doing. This is like boxing at the highest level. And to look at the records, of both fighters, I really don't see. Hold on, I'm bringing it up here. I really don't see. I think that Charlo has a better record in terms of opposition. And, can he land? Will this be like a Donald Curry, Milton McCrory situation where Charlo takes out Andrade? Will it be a Donald Curry, oh gosh, who was that fighter? One of the best. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. Mike McCollum. Will it be like that where McCollum just ices him, where the McCollum-esque fighter ices him? We'll have to see. And in this fight, who is going to be Mike McCollum? Who is going to be Donald Curry? Who is going to be Milton McCrory? So, this is what's enjoyable is we're seeing a very tactical fight, which is what you would expect from these guys. And I'm just happy to be able to provide it to you here on Boxing Time TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you're seeing, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please, share these links. And like I said, big fan of the Sports Illustrated podcast. Big fan of the work that Chris Mannix does on that and the guests that he has. I find it so informative. I mean, honestly, if you just want one podcast, and I'm even excluding my own, but if you want one podcast just to keep up with the daily grind of the boxing game, that pretty much is all that you need, even though there's a lot of really good ones out there and a lot of really solid news sources out there. All right, so we have 10 rounds left, and I don't know. I think that could have been even. One judge giving it to Charlo, another judge having it even, and another judge having it even. So, folks, we're looking at an even fight, although Charlo now 2 points ahead on the scorecard. So, can he maintain that? Is there something that Demetrius Andrade can do? He's going up top. Oh, and he lands two good shots right there. But I'm telling you, those body shots from Charlo, it's taking something out of Demetrius Andrade. And the question is, can Andrade start landing shots of his own to the body, maybe neutralize Charlo a little bit, get Charlo in a position distance-wise where he can't land? But Charlo's doing pretty good fighting from a long range. And I keep going to look at their Charlo being really busy. That's one thing I like, the way he's peppering Andrade. I mean, he just took a left hand there, and now he took another one. But these two guys are starting to let their hands go more as we're moving into the middle part of the first portion of the fights. That's what I think. I think fights are almost broken down into portions, and that's what I love is sort of the tacticalness of this, especially when you see it on this level. And as I often said, I'm not obviously the first person to say it. I think when both fighters get to do their style, that's when we see the best fights. And I think that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing a hyper-competitive super middleweight fight between two of the best middleweights in the world, if not the best middleweights in the world. And that is ultimately why it's going the way that it's going. Although Jermall Charlo landing really well right there. So let's take a look at his record this round, and the next round we'll look at the one of Demetrius Andrade. Charlo with that good win recently over Sergey Derevchenko. He'd beaten Matt Korobov, Hugo Centeno, who I'd actually seen fight here locally at Fight Club OC in Costa Mesa, California. That really good win over Julian J. Rock Williams. J. Rock is a solid fighter, going to give anybody a tough time anytime they fight. I actually thought was maybe the best fighter in the 154-pound division for a while, but ultimately was bested by Charlo. He's beaten Austin Trout, Cornelius Bundridge. So just his record alone, when you put it up against Demetrius Andrade, I mean, Andrade has not fought the same level of competition. So once again, a good round. They're saying that Andrade has a bruised rib. But one judge, the judge had been giving those rounds to Jermall Charlo, gave that round to Andrade, and then the two of the other judges gave it to Jermall Charlo. So folks, I think we're looking at, it's a 3-point fight. Jermall Charlo just sort of getting his lead going to the body. Is he pulling ahead? But Demetrius Andrade comes out, lands 3 shots to the head of Jermall Charlo, trying to show him, listen, don't think that you have this beaten. Don't think that you're pulling ahead. But if I'm Jermall Charlo, I rake that body. I scrape that midsection as much as I possibly can because he knows that he has a bruised rib, and that's one of the things that I love about this boxing game. So many boxing games, if you have the bruised rib, we would see it now on the side, and the fighter would just go for it. But Demetrius, and then they'd land a super punch, and they would just knock him out. This fight doesn't have any of that, and Demetrius Andrade, as you can see, is still in this fight. He's roared back here in the 4th round. He's landed some shots, and while I don't think he hits as hard as Jermall Charlo, he's getting Charlo's attention with the shots that he's throwing, with the shots that he's landing, like that. And Jermall Charlo looking, does not want to fall into a position where Demetrius Andrade can start making cases for winning rounds. And Jermall Charlo now doing really good work up top, but it's got to keep consistent, got to keep going to the body, and Demetrius Andrade scraping Charlo to the body now. So these guys are just going for it. We're seeing a really solid fight, and wow, just a really entertaining middleweight boxing match between two really, really good fighters. We'll look at the record now of Demetrius Andrade. And I'm going to botch some of these names. He does have that upcoming fight versus Dusty Hernandez-Harrison. Plan to do that next week. He is going to be... he fought Musai Shaleki. He got a unanimous decision over him. He's beaten Venus Montarasoyan, which isn't really that comparatively compared to the level of opposition that Jermall Charlo's fought. So name-wise, you got to give Charlo credit for fighting the bigger names, but he's also probably had more of an opportunity. It's hard for to hold that against Demetrius Andrade when these people don't want to fight him. But now you have Andrade backing Jermall Charlo up against the ropes. Oh, throwing shots, and he wobbled him just there. You saw the legs of Charlo wobble. Has Demetrius Andrade figured this out? The fighter who I said does not hit as hard as Jermall Charlo, has he figured this out? We will have to see. All right. So now they're saying Charlo's tired, Andrade's tired. Andrade has a bruised rib. Charlo, even on one of the judges' scorecard, 2 of the judges gave that round to Andrade, who roared back. So Andrade's narrowed the score down now, 117, 116, and he roars out and he lands another shot and he wobbled Charlo. So you're going to have Charlo coming back in this 5th round, and he's going to want to land some shots. He's going to want to make some statements. The question is, will he be able to? And I think that Demetrius Andrade, maybe this is what he wants. He wants Charlo coming forward. He wants to counter him. He wants to land those shots. He wants to bust him up. He wants to, oh, wow, oh, no way. Demetrius Andrade going to the body, knocking Charlo down with a little, wow. Oh my gosh, I did not expect that. That Charlo's got to be ready for that. He's got to be just prepared for that. He can't rush in now. He's going to want to, I mean, here I am talking about how Charlo is the harder puncher. Demetrius Andrade going to the body, using Charlo's style against him, and he drops him. Meanwhile, Charlo got up quickly. He's going to regroup. He's, he wants to continue to stay where he was. He's up by 1 point. But did Demetrius Boo-Boo Andrade, with that knockdown, with those shots, turn the tide of this tight middleweight contest? And once again, you are watching Boxing Time TV. If you like what you're seeing, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share these links. Let's just continue to make this a fun place for, simulated boxing content. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone wants to talk about boxing. I figured instead of just talking about it, I would create, simulated fights and talk over them, kind of go off of the stats as best, as much as I was able to, and see what would happen. Jermall Charlo starting to throw punches again now, but he's really, he's taking some time here. Let's see if he can regroup. Let's see let's see what he's able to do, because this has been a big round for Demetrius Andrade, who's now going to the body, who could be pulling ahead in this fight. We will have to see if Jermall Charlo, has the ability to get past this. I think that he does. I think both these fighters do. You had Andrade, who was sort of down in the beginning, kind of figuring things out, but he turned this into a fight, and when he did, he was paid handsomely for it in the form of being able to knock down Jermall Charlo. Some great back and forth action here, folks. And this is going to be a very big round for Demetrius Andrade. Although Charlo lands that right hand, folks. All right, so Charlo is very tired. Andrade's obviously tired and has a bruised rib. The judges gave that round 10-8 all to Demetrius Andrade. So right now, Jermall Charlo 141 and Andrade 146. What a difference a round makes. And here you have Jermall Charlo not being as aggressive. Has to figure something out here. He knows that he has Andrade hurt. He has hurt his rib. If I am Jermall Charlo, I figure out a way to continue landing shots to the body. I use that as my advantage, and I figure out a way to get back in this fight. Because right now, he's backed up. He's taking punches along the ropes, and, who knows? Maybe he wants to tire Andrade out. I don't know. But Andrade has roared back. He's taken the initiative. The question is, can he keep it? Oh, and punches him into the ropes again. I'm telling you, Andrade is just coming in now, and I mean, unfortunately, I think this could potentially result in becoming sort of a bit of a boring fight if Jermall Charlo goes very, very defensive and just just lets Andrade just sort of beat up on him, or doesn't really do much. This fight could devolve into that. I'm hoping that it doesn't. I think that Jermall Charlo still has a lot left. Maybe he was just really rattled in that round. Maybe he's trying to tire Andrade out. We will have to see. Oh, and Jermall Charlo landing 2 left hands and dropping Andrade. Oh my gosh. Look at this. The way the tide turns in boxing. Who knew? Who could have imagined? Oh, and now Andrade gets up. What a difference, folks. What a fight we've got. What a fight we got. And he dropped Andrade hard. And that was, I give Jermall Charlo all the credit in the world to be able to come back from that when it looked like, for all intents and purposes, this was over, and he lands those shots. This is what I love about this boxing game. Sierra Championship Boxing. It's never over till it's over. You're never out of the fight. One punch, really, just like the sport, can actually change the game. I love it. And now Jermall Charlo, has he been, did he find something in that? I mean, he was losing that round, but he landed 2 swift left hands that deposited Demetrius Andrade on the seat of his pants, and that was a hard knockdown. I thought that Charlo went down hard against Andrade, but Charlo's going to want to be smart, because he's not going to want to just keep coming forward and let Andrade beat up on him. And now Andrade has a broken rib. They're saying that Charlo's tired. We're going to see what's going to happen. Now Charlo turning the tide, 10-8, 10-8, 10-8. So now Charlo's up again by 1 point as we go in the 7th. Folks, this is a 6-round fight. Whoever does the most in the next 6 rounds is going to win. And Jermall Charlo is coming on. He just scored a big knockdown, and he has broken one of Demetrius Andrade's rib. That means this fight could be stopped anytime now. So what we have is Demetrius Andrade up against it, broken rib, and he's going to need to make something happen. The question is, can he? We've already seen that he can knock him down, but has Jermall Charlo learned from that? And is Jermall Charlo going to become more defensive in this fight? And now you have Charlo landing from range. And folks, sorry, we have a call coming in. So sorry about that. You have Charlo wobbling Andrade again, and look at that. Look at that, folks. So sorry about all these technical issues. I do run a very sloppy podcast here at Boxing Time TV. That's kind of just part of the deal, but thankfully nothing got messed up. And these two guys are trading. And if I'm Jermall Charlo, I just keep going to that body. If I'm Demetrius Andrade, I move back. I try to draw Charlo out, and I try to land. This is a 6-round fight now. 171, 170 after 6 rounds. They are at even, basically. Oh, and Demetrius Andrade landing hard on Jermall Charlo. Folks, what a fight. What a fight this is. And it's weird. It's weird the power that Andrade's showing. I've never seen him really show this kind of power, but he's showing it. But Jermall Charlo, we know he has that kind of power. Just ask Julian Williams if he has that kind of power. Just ask Sergey Derevchenko if he has that kind of power. He does in spades. And Jermall Charlo does too, but man, I think Jermall Charlo hits like a ton of bricks. Oh, and landing that right hand over that. Oh, just a way to get back in the fight, folks. This is an even contest, and these guys in the middle of the fight are being asked to continue to put out their best. Both trying to fight from a long range, both landing, both showing that they can hurt each other. This is wow. And Charlo going to the body again. All that early body punching is paying dividends now. We're going to have to see if he can fully make it pay off, or does Demetrius Andrade have a way to once again work his way back into the fight. Not that he's out of it. They're both even up. Both guys giving a tremendous effort. Oh, and look at that now. Charlo's very tired and has a cut on his nose. And Andrade's tired and has a broken rib. One judge having it even, another judge having it even, and another judge giving that round to Jermall Charlo. So now Charlo up by 2 points as we move into the 8 rounds. As we move into the 8th round, we have including this round, we have 5 more rounds to go. So this is a 5-round fight with Jermall Charlo having a tiny bit of a lead, but we're going to have to see. And he's cut. Can Demetrius Andrade land enough to make that matter the way that Jermall Charlo landed to the body to make the bruised rib matter? We're on pins and needles here, folks. At any moment, this fight could be called. this is truly the theater of the unexpected. Oh, look at Charlo landing, is he going to draw Andrade out? Andrade's going to remember, though. He's going to remember what happened when he got into the corner. He's got to be smart. Oh, and he lands again with one of the punches that dropped Andrade earlier. Wow, folks. I did not expect this kind of high-octane energy. These two guys are going for it. And Jermall Charlo landing well from the outside. Andrade coming forward. So right now, Charlo seems to have Andrade fighting the fight that he wants him to fight. But Demetrius Andrade landing right there. Right after I say that, he's not out of this by a sight, folks. And so we're gonna have to see what happens. This is truly a give and take fight. And Andrade's got to be careful about taking those shots to the body. He's got to be careful. And he's fighting from a distance, so he's doing the right thing. He's just trying to land. He's using the abrasion on Jermall Charlo's face as a target, and he just wants to just continue landing and landing and landing. Look at this. Now Charlo kind of roaring forward. He's got to be smart. He's got to be cautious. This is how Andrade got him the last time. Oh, and now he wobbles him with the left hand. I mean, this has been fairly even in this round too, folks. I could see them giving it to Charlo maybe, but yeah, look at this. Demetrius Andrade knows he wants this opportunity. So does Jermall Charlo. This is how they prove that they are the best. All right, let's see what the judges say. We have 4 more rounds left. So Charlo's obviously tired, has a cut on his nose. Andrade's tired, has a broken rib, and wow, one of the judges has it 10-8 for Charlo, 10-9, 10-9. So is Jermall Charlo pulling ahead? Jermall Charlo is now up by 6 points, folks. Demetrius Andrade, is it slipping away from him? Is he not doing enough? You know, we're gonna have to see. I mean, I think he's still in this, folks. But you know, it's one of those things. You know, Jermall Charlo has really, I mean, just kind of turned this around in a lot of ways and keeps going to the bodies. It was that early body attack that really helped establish what Jermall Charlo is doing now. And we talked about that in the beginning of the fight. But Andrade right now, you know, keeping him off of him, and landing, and as Andrade's shown, you know, he's able to hurt Charlo. So the question is, can he continue to do that as we move into as this fight progresses? Oh, and taking body shots is Demetrius Andrade as he roared back. Demetrius Andrade taking a lot of chance right now, standing so close just to land those shots. You know, because the head moves, but the body doesn't, and that's benefiting Jermall Charlo. But if Andrade can find it, he can possibly stop this onslaught. But Jermall Charlo seems to have gotten a second win, and he's landing right now, and he's wobbled and he's hurt Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade taking some shots there, showing a really good chin despite being deposited on his backside in the 6th round. Oh, another uppercut from Jermall Charlo. I mean, from Andrade. Wow. Andrade fighting off the ropes. Charlo's thrown a lot of shots, and they're both. And Andrade wobbled. Man, folks, this is one of those affairs. Oh, and do not blink and you'll miss it. And they're both landing. They're both throwing. These are just two guys. This is a pure 6 brawl, folks. And Jermall Charlo, he's up by 6 points, but Demetrius Andrade could easily come back as he's shown. Will this fight take a turn for the 3rd time? Charlo throwing punches. I'm telling you, to me, this round has been fairly even. And to see even this late in the fight, I think they're going to give it to Charlo just because Charlo's had more of these kind of moments. But, Demetrius Andrade now has a 10th, 11th, and 12th to try to get back into this fight more. But it looks like Jermall Charlo slowly but surely is taking over. And he's doing a lot in these rounds right now, and that's piling up points. Just like him going to the body has helped him. Oh, Charlo's obviously tired and has a cut in his nose. Andrade's tired and has a broken rib. 10-9, 10-8, 10-8. All for Jermall Charlo. So he's pulled ahead, folks. He's up by 11 points now. We have 3 more rounds to go. Can Andrade pull this out? Is he going to pull this out, folks? He's got 3 rounds to do it. He's got to let his hands go. He's got to find it within himself. Because right now, Jermall Charlo thinks that he has him. Oh, man. Jermall Charlo giving the performance of his life right now in a simulated context. Wow. Sorry, I'm just organizing my papers on my desk. We have some upcoming bouts. We're going to be doing the Tim Tszyu fight. We're going to be doing Joseph Parker versus Junior Fowl. And like I said, the Andrade Dusty Hernandez Harrison fight. And there's also there was another one on there that I don't think that I mentioned. The bout between and Jermall Charlo laying some hurt on him. The Estrada Ring Versailles 3 bout as well, because they just announced that that's going to be happening, but we don't have a date for that yet. But we'll just do it. We'll get it in the hopper. People can see it, get talking about it. And right now, this is exactly what Jermall Charlo wants. He's working on the inside. He's throwing more punches. Demetrius Andrade, broken rib. Is not out of it, but he loses this round and the next round. I mean, he loses this round. He probably will need a knockout to win. He may already need a knockout to win. We'll have to see. He's just got to let his hands go. He's got to punch. He's got to, and right now Jermall Charlo is just in a zone, and he's figuring it out. And it's that in and out movement from Jermall Charlo that seems to have befuddled for the moment, or is just given Demetrius Andrade a lot of problems. And Charlo's landing, he's throwing uppercuts. He's just building on his lead. And right now we have these long stretches where Andrade's not throwing a lot of punches. And now he's going to the body too. I'm telling you, they could also stop this fairly soon as well. We will have to see. Once again, another round in the books. We have 2 more rounds to go, folks. Jermall Charlo leading, is really pulling ahead. Even though they're saying he's tired, there's a cut in his nose. Andrade has a broken rib. Andrade lost that round 10-8, 10-8, and 10-8 on the judges. Is Andrade waiting for Charlo to gas himself out? Doesn't seem like it's going to be happening, but maybe this is what he wants. He wants to draw Charlo out and have the success that he had earlier when he dropped Charlo hard. And, we'll see. Andrade's shown that he can do it. The question is, can he do it again? Especially at this point in the fight, when he's tired, when he's hurt, he has a broken rib. Oh, and he wobbles him. Oh, Charlo's gotta be weary. He's got to be wary of those counter right hands. And right now, folks, Jermall Charlo landing, throwing shots, and Demetrius Andrade trying to land on the inside. Is he pulling out a late round rally? Has he tired Jermall Charlo out? We will have to see. Jermall Charlo right now well ahead. He is up by 17 points, folks. So it's his fight to lose. You know, and he's still taking a lot of, you know, he's coming forward against Andrade, who has dropped him. We'll see. Can Andrade summon something? I honestly don't know. You know, this has been around where maybe Andrade's had a little bit of a rally, but it's not enough. He needs a knockout to win at this point. Just given, and he gets wobbled there by an uppercut. He's going to be going into the 12th round. Should he make it out of this round? Well behind the 8 ball. And he wobbles him again. And this round's going to end with Demetrius Andrade wobbled. Are they going to stop this? We're going to come out for the 12th round, folks. Charlo's tired, cut on his nose. Andrade's tired, has a broken rib. 10-8, 10-8. Once again, Charlo just piling on the points. Is he going to pull it off, folks? It looks like he's going to. He is, as it stands, 23 points up above Demetrius Andrade. Andrade's got to pull something out. I don't know that the score should be that wide, but I think Charlo certainly is ahead in this fight. He can take this round off, but you know him, he's not going to. And, you know, we're going to see, can Andrade use that to his advantage? Once again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in, watching Boxing Time TV. As I said in the beginning, I did this because I'm a big fan of, I did this simulation between Jermall Charlo and Andrade wobbling Charlo as he comes in. Can he do that again? Wow. I did this because I'm a big fan of the Sports Illustrated podcast. Chris Mannix always talking about how he wants to see Jermall Charlo versus Demetrius Andrade. So that's why I did this simulation. I think it's lived up to the fight that he thinks it's going to be. The question, is it going to get even better? With 2 more minutes left, is Charlo going to take a decision or stop Andrade? Or did Andrade do something right there? Because look, now he has Charlo, backing off of him, but now you have Andrade wobbled. Oh man, both these guys giving everything that they have in this fight. What a contest. Oh man, at one point Charlo was wobbled. At one point Andrade was wobbled. I'm saying if anything, both these guys have a newfound respect for each other. And I mean, this is, we are seeing it, folks. We're coming into the final minute now of this, the 12th round. And it looks like Jermall Charlo has it in the bag, but boxing's a theater of the unexpected. Anything could change at any moment. Oh, he lands the right hand against Jermall Charlo. Wow, folks, what a fight. We're into 30 seconds. Jermall Charlo about to take a wide decision over Demetrius Andrade. And Jermall Charlo, now there's distance between them. The seconds are winding down. This looks like Jermall Charlo has it in the bag. Folks, this was a great fight. I'm glad that I did it. I'm hoping that it happens, and I'm hoping that when it happens, it's as good as it was here on Boxing Time TV. And that's it. Jermall Charlo, it's academic at this point. Jermall Charlo is going to get the decision over Boo Boo Andrade. Maybe this round was even, but still, such a disparity in the scoring. And Jermall Charlo really was busier. I don't know that he should have gotten 10-8 from so many of those rounds, but he did a lot, and he deserves the victory. Just as we thought, going to Jermall Charlo. Here, let's go look at the judges' scorecards. The winner is Jermall Charlo by unanimous decision. The fight lasted 12 rounds. Charlo was knocked out one time and has a cut on his nose. Andrade was knocked out one time and has a broken rib. The scores are 117-108, 117-109, and 117-108. Like I said, there was a lot of rounds where Charlo got 10-8. Thank you so much once again for tuning in to Boxing Time TV, where our motto is, why wait? Watch it now, then watch the real thing on DAZN, PBC, ESPN+, wherever it's airing, and compare. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you once again at the fights.